I'm not losing no more, yo. I'm not losing no more. I don't care. For me! Meow, meow, meow.
Rough day.
Okay, Ragan, let's get the most important question right off the bat. How fabulous did Julie Chen look in that black shoulderless getup last night?
Let's give the news to the house guests.
Oh, she looked so hot in that, like, red, vampy lipstick. I loved every second of it. She went to shake my hand. I'm like, you're not getting your hand back.
Thank you, Ragan.
Thank you, Julie.
You're welcome.
I think that she anticipated that I would be the one evicted. She knew the stakes for me going into that OTEV veto, so I think that she was doing it up, looking especially fabulous for me.
Hit it! Do you think Britney made the right strategic decision getting rid of you?
Only time will tell. I think all things being equal for them going into this week, I think that they made the wrong decision. But this isn't really the season of alliances on Big Brother. This is a season of friendships. Logic may dictate your moves in a season of alliances, but loyalty will tell you what to do in a season of friendships.
You mentioned how impressed you were with the Final Four all sticking together, yet the person that you call an excellent person was Matt.
Genius.
Worse than evil.
Who tried to throw you under the bus. So what gives there?
Matt is a good game player. Matt threw me under the bus because I think he recognized that those boys weren't going to turn on one another and that Britney probably wasn't going to turn on Lane or Hayden or maybe even Enzo. And being somebody who loves the game as much as I do, I can't really fault him for wanting to stay in it.
Stabbing my best friend in the back. So what I need to do, this is my only shot to win $500,000.
I would not have stabbed him in the back, but I can't use that to measure his actions.
You did very well in the endurance challenges. He did a little bit better. But you also, I noticed you kept sort of congratulating yourself while you were up there and saying how proud you were of yourself.
When I look at an endurance challenge, the word endure means something to me.
In addition to battling the other house guests, were you sort of battling some old sort of high school demons there?
Yeah, definitely. Well, first I should say that it's not that Matt did a little bit better than me in those challenges. In both of the endurance challenges, we agreed that Matt would be the person to win.
Is there any way that Matt and I can just, like, talk?
Even though I think that Matt would have legitimately won in his own right, I don't want to take anything away from those victories, but me jumping off of those challenges ultimately is what caused Matt to be evicted before I was evicted. When you're playing Big Brother, it's more important to know when you can lose a competition than it is knowing when you need to win a competition. To go to really the heart of your question, yeah, it was me competing against myself a lot in those challenges because I was so psychologically brutalized when I was a kid by my peers and was meant to think that I wouldn't be able to hold up against people who were super athletes.
Ragan, I'm impressed. Big time.
Wait, you didn't think I had this in me?
Ragan, one of my Twitter followers has a question for you. Want to take this one? Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Jana Newkirk asked, why does Ragan talk to himself so much? Good question, Ragan.
Well, I really wasn't talking to myself a whole bunch until the end of the game, that last week.
It's gonna be a lonely week.
There was talk that when Matt left the house, that the new big pair that had to be broken up would be Ragan and Britney.
What?
So I wanted to isolate myself. And when you're by yourself a lot in the Big Brother house, you know that you're not really by yourself. You're with the live feeds. So I used that as an opportunity to talk to the live feeds. Also, a lot of the talking that I did with myself was centered around studying for the game. There were 340 glass bricks in the Taj. We were in the house on Thursday's eviction for 87,120 minutes. I spent a lot of that time alone and talking to myself, trying to prepare myself for competitions that were to come.
And then when you really need to win one, Enzo, maybe the worst challenge competitor in Big Brother history, muscles you out of the way for the veto. Losing to Enzo is just like rubbing salt in the wound. I
was heartbroken when I saw what the head of household challenge was going to be. Shooting soccer balls filled with water from a catapult into squares at the final 5 to determine the head of household was a heartbreaking moment for me, especially considering that I'm competing against somebody who played college football for Texas Tech, who's made a career out of putting balls where they need to go. I mean, I guess you could say the same thing about me, but in a different way. Bam! Zing! For the veto, when I saw that it was OTEV is not about house knowledge. Nobody even had to think about the answers for the riddles.
He wrote a wiener and won 10 G's. The Diamond Veto gave him ease.
The thing that was most upsetting to me about the OTEV challenge was where the Brendrew CDs were located. Everybody in the backyard knew where the Brendrew CDs were located.
I even know where this CD is.
I think that they wanted the last round to be super physical. They wanted it to be dramatic. I'm sure they got their dramatic photo finish.
If you guys don't slow motion what happened, I'm not talking to you anymore.
And what distinguishes me and Enzo is that I want to stay in the game. I'm not willing to literally walk on top of somebody to do it.
Getting evicted so close to the end has to hurt, but I bet someone's excited to be reunited in the jury house with their bestie, Rachel.
Talking to you is like talking to the most vile devil child in the world, and I'm done with it, baby.
Is there any common ground you think you two are gonna find?
I think that Rachel and I can both agree that we hate Rachel. I think that Rachel at the end of the day hates herself as much as I dislike Rachel.
Oh, that's a shock.
And that's why she behaves the way that she does.
Do you have to be the biggest bitch because you're gay?
And I know that probably makes me sound evil.
I'm a big bitch because you're an absolute monster.
But I don't throw the word hate around in my life.
Ooh.
I think Rachel was more invested in making good television than she was in being a good person, and I have absolutely no respect for that. She would say something really horrible to, like, Kristen, for example, and then go up to her afterward and say, hey, yeah, sorry about that. It was just, for television purposes.
Rachel, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
One of the saboteur pranks that I was considering right before her eviction was super gluing the front door shut, which would have locked her in the house. Hence the saboteur message about one of the people who you vote out may be staying in the house. Ultimately, I decided, even though that would have been a wonderful TV moment and it would have been hilarious, I couldn't do it because I personally, and people who I really cared about in the game, could not spend another 24 hours with Rachel.
Well, enjoy your reunion with her in the jury house, Ragan.
That's like saying, enjoy being shot in the head repeatedly.
You're cute.